I'm feeling like a rock star.
It's here. The 2019 season of the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada kicks off in beautiful Vancouver with the Canada Life Open. And then it's a sprint through 12 events. With 5 Web.com tour cards on the line and the chance to chase the dream at the next level, the competition is fierce. But there's always time to enjoy the ride. All that and more, next. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. 3, 2, 1. It's finally here. The 2019 season of the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada is swinging into high gear as the tour lands in Vancouver, British Columbia for the first of 3 events in the BCGolf Swing, the Canada Life Open at Point Grey Golf and Country Club.
I'm looking forward to starting the year, hopefully on a positive note, come into a fresh year, fresh start. So I'm looking forward to being here in Vancouver.
I think it's been a long time waiting for this to come, and it's good to get started up here. It looks beautiful, nice area, so I'm very excited to start playing.
This par 72 course sits at just over 6,500 yards and will prove to be a challenge for players hoping to capture their first title of the year. But titles are only part of the battle. With a new season comes high hopes and new opportunities to make it up to the next level of competition. The Web.com Tour.
My expectations are high. I know I've got a good game and I know I'm ready to play professionally, so yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to make it possibly into the top 5. That's one of my goals.
And with just 12 events in the season, every event is critical to make it into the top 5 on the order of merit by season's end.
Expectations are to play as good as I possibly can and see how that gets me closer to the Web.com Tour in 2019. Whether it be play well enough to finish top 5, whether it be well enough to win, or go back to Q school and play well enough there to qualify for Web. However it happens, just the goal is obviously to get to the Web.com.
The newly rebranded Canada Life Open is the first step in that journey. And although the look of the event may be a bit different, the mission is still the same.
We feel that by aligning our brand with an event that helps Canadians achieve their dreams, as well as gives back to our local charities, it's a win-win-win situation.
Before the start of the Canada Life Open, Colin Monagle, Sean Walsh, and Tyler Salisbury ventured outside the ropes to test their skills at the Richmond Olympic Oval. Their first stop, a little short track speed skating lesson with Lucas McDonald, one of the top speed skaters in the country, and his coach, Nicole Garrido.
We have your speed skates ready for you. They're really fast. They're nice and sharp for you guys today, so.
Well, this will be great. Yeah. We're excited to go.
The boot's pretty hard. It's a solid boot, so it's not going to be as comfy as, say, a hockey boot.
Yeah.
My ankles haven't felt so gelatinous in a while.
Okay, are you guys ready?
Getting buckled up.
Let's head on out. I'll actually show you guys basic position just to get you on the right foot, okay? So make sure your feet are shoulder width apart, or hip width apart, I guess. Okay, you're gonna reach your fingertips to your toes in that position. Nice round back pelvic tilt, okay? And you can put your hands on your back. There you go. You want your feet to come in a little bit closer, yeah? So this is your basic position.
Real.
Yeah, nice and low. Perfect. That's great, guys. So what you want to do with your speed skates is everything is about pushing to the side. That's how you're going to get your speed. If you push back,
Gotcha.
you're going to carve into the ice like that. You won't get any momentum, okay? So you're pushing right to the side. You're going to feel it in your glute muscles and your hips.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I feel it everywhere, though.
So you go to the line, you're in your position, you're still standing. Then the starter will say ready, and you bring the same arm in front and the other arm back. So you're ready to like explode like that, okay? Ready, go. Go, go, go! the side, nice and low. Oh, we got two of these guys going head to head. Come on, don't let him get you. Let's go. Get him. Nice. Oh, we got one man down. Almost there, guys. Right to the red line. Awesome. Hey, good work. Good job. So since we didn't demo stuff, yes, good job.
This is so hard. What, the ice is hard? This is so hard.
Looking a tad like baby deer on ice, they decided to steady the competition with some teamwork.
Get up!
Come on, bring it back. Let's go. Slow it down a little bit so it's a little bit of a competition. Bring your knees forward, don't put your weight on your back. Yes, yes, good. Good job. All the way, reel her in.
Now, for extra speed, I'm just gonna let you go.
Yeah, nice.
I think, did we win? I think we won.
Number 1 or 2, but 1 in my heart.
We got second. That's a silver medal.
Yeah, podium finish.
Golf course is which way?
Coming up next.
In Canada a few years ago, I made a point to not look at leaderboards and just try to make as many birdies as I could.
We see what 2016 Canada Life Open champion Dan McCarthy is up to now. And then,
Like overspin.
Yes.
Okay.
see how our players are stacking up against some of Canada's best. When this is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada returns. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada.
I left it in a good spot. I figured I would just bang the putter up there, and it was about a foot right below the hole, you know, for the win. Kind of shaking right now. I'm still a little bit of shock.
In this week's Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada playback. Back in 2016, Dan McCarthy captured the season-opening Canada Life Open by 1 stroke over Tyler McCumber, kicking off the first of his 4 victories that year. His amazing run culminated with Player of the Year honors and the top spot on the Order of Merit. Now in his 3rd full season on the Web.com Tour, the Syracuse, New York native is climbing the ranks once again. After his victory at the Savannah Golf Championship earlier this season, he currently ranks 14th on the money list.
In Canada a few years ago, I made a point to not look at leaderboards and just try to make as many birdies as I could and see where I stood at the end. It's been a slow start to the year. It means the world. You don't know that you can do it until you actually do it out here. I'm over the moon.
And he's in great position to become yet another Mackenzie Tour alum to play his way on to the PGA Tour.
Gives me a lot of confidence that I can go and do it again. I've played a lot of great golf for a number of years. It's nice to know that I can pull through on one of the biggest stages around.
The Richmond Olympic Oval was home to the long track speed skating venue during the 2010 Olympic Games. But today, it's much more than meets the ice.
We have been called one of the most successful Olympic legacy venues. Part of that really has to do with what the original vision was for the facility, and that was, first of all, to build it as an asset to the community of Richmond that would also serve as a speed skating venue during the Olympics. They wanted this to be a success long-term, as well as to shine when the international eyes were on the community during the Olympic Games. The Oval was built out strategically to service everything from the citizens of Richmond right through to the Olympic and Paralympic athletes who travel for Canada and represent Canada internationally. We are a very large facility. We have the equivalent of 10 basketball courts. We have an indoor 200-meter track and 110-meter sprint lane. We have volleyball courts. We have 2 Olympic-sized rinks. We have 4 fitness studios. We have an indoor rowing tank, 12,000 square foot sport med facility. We kind of have everything that an athlete would need to live, train, and compete.
Just like shake hand.
Okay.
Just like shake hand.
Okay.
The adventure continued for the trio of Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada players, with some challenging hand-eye coordination sports and stiff competition.
The idea kind of was, let's have these high-level golfers in and see how good they are as multi-sport athletes. A big thing that we do is encourage young athletes to take part in a lot of different sports, not to specialize too early. No! Table tennis is a deceivingly tough and athletic sport. We have athletes and members who range in age from 9 right through to in their 80s. And we have members who've started playing table tennis simply to improve their health.
Can't try and do that or it'll go straight up.
It's a sport that's tough. You know, you need to be able to move quickly, react quickly.
20. Oh, no, I missed.
The volleyball players who are here, that's Canada's national team. So they were playing with some of the best athletes in Canada. The guys actually brought some skills that I don't think any of us were expecting.
The last chance for the guys to show off some of their athletic prowess was in the batting cages. Sort of similar to golf, right?
We have a lot of golfers who come in to receive training from both our personal trainers as well as our strength and conditioning coaches. We're a big fan of the sport. As soon as we heard the opportunity was there to get involved and support the competition, we were all in.
After the break, we see why giving back is at the heart of the Canada Life Open. And then,
I'd like to play with Tiger, probably DJ, and probably my old man.
Ontario's Taylor Pendrith lets us inside his head during the practice round. And later,
it's obviously a great opportunity when you get to do stuff like this.
The guys wrap up their experience at the Richmond Olympic Oval. Next on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. For the 4th consecutive year, the Canada Life Open has used its love of hockey to raise money for the Canucks for Kids Children's Fund, an organization that dedicates resources to assist various charities which support children's health and wellness, foster the development of grassroots hockey, and facilitate education. Over the last 30 years, Canucks for Kids has granted more than $59 million to charities in British Columbia, including one of its core beneficiaries, Canuck Place Children's Hospice. Canuck Place Children's Hospice first opened its doors in November 1995, becoming North America's first freestanding children's hospice. Responding to the need for a hospice created specifically for children, they developed 2 provincial locations in Vancouver and Abbotsford to deliver Canuck Place care, which includes medical respite, pain and symptom management, art, music, and recreation therapy, end-of-life care, and grief, loss, and bereavement counseling, all at no cost to families.
When you walk through the doors of Canuck Place, it's like walking into a whole different world. It's a world full of support. Canuck Place literally saved our family from a very hard time.
Funds raised during this year's Canada Life Open ball hockey game will go directly to help these very special families.
Whew. Got held up a bit. A little bit.
Taylor Pendrith is back. With 2 top 25s and a top 10 under his belt, the 26-year-old has stepped into 2019 ready to take on another season on the Mackenzie Tour. And before the start of the Canada Life Open, we got a chance to get to know him in this week's On the Bag.
I played hockey and baseball basically my whole life growing up, but my sister is a superintendent at a golf course back in Ontario. I was probably 13 and had a hockey tournament up where she was working and decided to pick up a golf club, and I enjoyed it ever since. You know, growing up playing team sports, if somebody on your team lets you down, you can't really control that, but golf, it's all you and your caddy and the golf course. Last year, it was just great to be playing again. Had a good finish in Windsor, was in the final group, and that was an awesome tournament because there was tons of people out there, a lot of Canadian support, but just kind of getting in contention and feeling those nerves was awesome.
Oh, favorite movie?
Happy Gilmore, I'd say, is a really good one. Wedding Crashers is always great, but I like action movies. Blake Shelton, we'll go with that. I like the country music. The Blue Jays, for sure, yeah. I grew up going to their games. Yeah, the Jays were always rooting for them. You know, I had Jay's jerseys and just loving going to the games with my glove, trying to catch home runs or batting practice balls. I'd like to play with Tiger, probably DJ, and probably my old man. He doesn't golf very much, but it'd be fun to be back here at Point Grey. It's one of my favorite courses on this tour, but I'm feeling good and really looking forward to get going this year and have a good week in Vancouver and kind of kickstart the year.
The boys completed their trip to the Richmond Olympic Oval with a tour of the Richmond Olympic Experience, a state-of-the-art interactive museum with Olympic and sports simulators that allow visitors to experience what a world-class athlete feels as they compete on the international stage.
We had a fun time showing that golfers aren't always unathletic.
That's pretty awesome that they turned the facility into a usable space.
And as they look back on the day's exploits, one thing became clear, that they should all stick to their day jobs.
I got a good push in the second race to a victory, but, you know, I don't think it's for me. You know, those skates are tiny.
You walk into the table tennis room and it just everybody kind of looks at you like knowing that we don't belong because we're not very good. We got to play against a couple of the legends in there. I think I scored maybe 3 points.
We're playing a game, a competitive game, and from the other side of the court I hear some chirping. I'm like, what is this? And all of a sudden we get, oh, that's cute.
I call it cute but effective. We gave them a run for their money. We made them think about it.
After volleyball, we walk over to the baseball. It was just phenomenal to watch him swing and miss and hit the tee a few times.
I needed the ball moving, which is contrary to the sport that I actually play for a living. Once that ball started moving, though, out of the pitching machine, I did a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to hit cutters when the ball's not moving.
It's obviously a great opportunity when you get to do stuff like this. You get to come up and experience a city like Vancouver. All the people are so wonderful.
Coming here with a couple buddies, instead of playing a practice round and grinding it out today, we got to have some fun.
They hosted the Olympics, they had the speed skating here, and the fact that they were able to turn it into something else, kind of make a great use of it. We definitely weren't all-stars at what we did today, but we sure had fun doing it.
Up next on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. The first title of the season comes down to the wire. Find out who takes the Canada Life Open when we return. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. On Sunday, during the Canada Life Open, the tournament hosted its 4th annual ball hockey event in support of the Canucks for Kids Foundation.
We are so excited and so honored to be a part of this again. They want to try and raise as much fun for the charities as well as put on a great day of golf, so we're really happy to be here. We have 3 core beneficiaries, which is Canuck Place Children's Hospice, the Canucks Autism Network, and BC Children's Hospital. And all of them are providing life-saving care and life-changing programs to kids and families all around the province.
As the weekend rolled in at the Canada Life Open, things were looking good for Canadian James Allenby. After going low in his first 2 rounds with a combo 68-63, his 3-stroke advantage and support from his fellow Canadians put the BC native in high spirits.
It's the way that golf should be played, right? You know, it feels good having people appreciate, you know, your shots and stuff like that. Because the tour's in Canada, it's great to have Canadians to cheer for.
And he kept the ball rolling in on Saturday. With a bogey-free 5-under par 67, the 34-year-old clinched the top spot on the leaderboard heading into the final round.
Anytime you go bogey-free, it's a good round. You don't really know how to describe it today. I'm just plodding along and taking care of business.
But with 18 holes left to play, an RBC Canadian Open exemption on the line, and 4 out of 5 past Canada Life Open winners claiming the title by 2 strokes or less, Allenby would need to keep the pedal down to snatch up a W on Sunday. At the start of the final round, 5 strokes ahead of the field, James Allenby had full intent to capture the first title of the season. But pressure is a funny thing. 2 early bogeys on the front 9 opened the door to several new contenders, and it would be a dogfight to the end. But Allenby continued to fight. The Oregon State alum righted the ship with a birdie at the turn, but he wasn't alone. With his coach's advice in his back pocket, 24-year-old Jake Knapp posted a 32 front nine, joining Allenby in the lead.
I sent a text to my coach this morning and was like, what does the guy have to do to shoot, 8 or 9 under today? And just put it plain and simple. He was like, go shoot 400 in the front and shoot 400 in the back.
And that advice rang true. Locked in a battle with Allenby, he managed 5 more birdies on the back nine, including 2 clutch ones coming in the final 2 holes. The California native closed out his final round with a 64, capturing the first title of the season.
There's so many good players out here, and like they say about how many guys are going from the Mackenzie Tour to the Web and the PGA Tour and everything. It's obvious that this is a proving ground to get to that next level.
And speaking of the PGA Tour, not only did Knapp's win vault him into an early lead on the Order of Merit, but it also earned him an exemption into the PGA Tour's RBC Canadian Open.
That means a lot, to be able to go out there and see what I can do against the best players in the world. It's good to go test your game at that level, for sure.
And with the conclusion of the Canada Life Open, the Order of Merit begins to take shape. Americans Dylan Wu and Lawrence Chan T4 finish landed them in a tie for the 4th spot. The United States' Brian Carlson holds on to the 2nd spot alongside Canada's own James Allenby. And leading the way is this week's champion, Jake Knapp. Next week on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. The BCGolf Swing continues as the tour heads across the bay to the beautiful capital of British Columbia, Victoria. Nestled along the southern end of Vancouver Island, Uplands Golf Course beckons the next generation of PGA Tour stars for the Bayview Place DC Bank Open, presented by Times Colonist. We'll see you then.